I'm sorry I can't be there with you. I am there with you in spirit, and I look forward to seeing you when I return next week. Um, so Laura and I have been working together on this materials workshop, and it was inspired really by our trip to Pittsburgh for Reggio Emilia conference. And the final there were lots of interesting things at the workshop and lots of interesting talks and tidbits. But the final activity that we did was a materials workshop by Jennifer Azzaretti, which I also had, and maybe some of you have, at the PJLL conference in Rockville. And so there's a table of a huge amount and variety, a larger variety of materials that you might use in a classroom. And then we're asked to represent some feelings of maybe represent ourselves, our philosophies of education, our coming to, how we come together and work together in a classroom. So Laura and I really decided that we wanted to do it, to make it about collaboration. In the workshop in Pittsburgh and also at PJLL, it was done with a small group of people, maybe 8 to 10, and you worked on your individual representational sculpture or collage, if you will. Then at the end, we're asked to bring them together and talk about how it's tied together, which Laura and I, right after the workshop, we literally got in the car and drove back to DC. And we both said that while it was valuable, inspiring, and interesting, it was a little odd to be bringing things together with people that you don't know. And that wouldn't it be more valuable to bring it together to talk about how we collaborate and how we bring all of our individual ideas, aesthetics, interests together in an environment where we work together. So that's, I guess, our intent with this. This is what Reggio officially says. The materials used should be rich and varied. They should create a multi-sensory setting with surfaces which are smooth and rough, wet and dry, opaque, bright, translucent, and transparent. They should have different features which change over a period of time, wood, stone, flowers, fabrics, or remain unchanged, like steel or glass.
Joanne and I are heading over to Philippines.
Laura and I went to some really great places. We went to Community Forklift, which is this incredible huge warehouse filled with stuff. And it's really fun. I mean, it would be fun to take a whole school field trip there, to walk around and talk about, all the things we could possibly do with the large variety of materials they have. I also went to, Laura and I both went separately to Scrap DC, which is this amazing place filled with art supplies, crafting supplies, books, beads, glitter. I can't even tell you everything that was there. I could only do half the store in one visit because it was so overwhelming, and just walking through, finding such a wealth of materials for the classroom. You could ask businesses. You can also ask your parents to save containers for you, bottles, jars. Through Loose Parts, which also has a Facebook page that you can join, and I think there are a couple other sites where they will help you, and we will help you. Maybe we'll have it by the time you see this little video. We're going to be handing out a resource guide listing some of the places that we have found materials. We're more than happy to have you add places that you know of that we don't know about. And then also, we're handing out a letter that you can use. You can, format it to approach businesses, and also to ask your parents for materials that they may not be using in their homes, that they could, or their businesses, and they could share with school. What is the importance of working with materials in a classroom? Why not just put out crayons, paper, some blocks, all the things that, you could probably make, a list really quickly of like things you would see in a classroom. But what about finding other materials that could inspire, teach children about their environment, about the environment, about reusing things, recycling things, repurposing things, finding out what kinds of materials you're interested in using, and also allowing them to be openly and pretty freely use whatever materials we set out for them. Now, we're the people who choose what to put out, but I might put out something that doesn't necessarily appeal to me, but might appeal to someone else, because, like everything, not everything appeals to the same people. Open-ended items that can be used together. I also like to allow children to, when they're trying to, say, solve a problem in one area of the room, and they want to bring in something from a material from, they have an idea, like, how am I going to solve this problem? How am I going to sink a boat that's floating in water in the sensory table? And they turn around and they see a block. So they'll bring a block over, and although I don't necessarily want to have to go clean blocks from one area to the other, I want to allow them to use their creativity, to really use their abilities to explore. Allowing a child to freely use materials really teaches us something about that child. And how, what kinds of things they're really attracted to, and how they put things together, and how they move things about. It's an opportunity, a great learning opportunity for them, but it's really a wonderful opportunity for teachers to get to know children and to really see how they learn and construct knowledge. once again, I'm really sorry that I can't be here with you. But Laura will lead you through the materials workshop part of it, and hopefully you'll get some good ideas and inspiration, and then see how we collaborate, how we can come together through using and sharing materials in our classrooms. So I wish you all well, and I hope you have a great follow-up conversation. Cheers.